SteamWorld has become one of the more important franchises on Nintendo Switch. It is full of pizzazz, full of creativity. They're always genre swapping, and here they go once again, delving into the RPG realm with SteamWorld Quest. What's going on, everybody? It's Zach from SwitchForce. Gabe is here, and tomorrow you'll find out a lot more about this game, but we're lucky enough to be able to bring you an exclusive early look and let you know why SteamWorld Quest is quickly climbing our all-time eShop charts. Here we have 7 reasons why you must buy SteamWorld Quest when it launches later this week.
And Zach, with that, I kind of just want to get into it and go with the very first reason here, and that it is a cool RPG for people who don't really necessarily like RPGs. And this kind of includes you. I know that a lot of people know that they are maybe traditionally a little too slow for you. You get bogged down by a lot of the things that people kind of frankly love in RPGs. You aren't a fan of it, but you even enjoyed this, and that was the most surprising part. To have a turn-based RPG like this come out and then Zach loves it, that's how you know it's probably going to be really good.
It's because it does things by the beat of its own drum, and it manages to remove so many of the frustrations that slow me down in traditional JRPGs. There is really no grinding, there aren't random encounters. It manages to include strategy and depth without getting overly complex. I feel like the story is fun and fast, and you're not just bogged down in towns and dialogue, and they manage to keep it just fast-paced, fun, and so much of that is due to the epic system that they have included here, because the battles are card-based, and that is the second reason. The cards and the deck building are absolutely fantastic. As a fan of board games and card games for quite a while, as someone who is very eager to see Slay the Spire hit the system, I loved the battle system here. You're picking 3 cards a turn from decks that you get to make. Each character has 8 cards, and you will select those cards from a variety of over 100 different punch cards, and they will help attack the enemy, they'll help buff your teammates, they'll heal your party, and it's just such a near perfect system where you have cards that are more expensive, less expensive, and you might need to sacrifice some more powerful attacks to build your meter for the next turn, but it all works in such a brilliant way. I could not get enough of the battles. Usually in RPGs, I'm like, another battle, another battle. The battles here are the best part. That card mechanic, it's sublime.
I just want to say this in contrast to what you're saying. I'm kind of the complete opposite. I enjoy card games when I get to play them, but that is a rarity in my life. I don't have, a bunch of brothers around like you do to enjoy these things with. And even for someone like me that doesn't get to play card games very often, I still had so much fun getting more familiar with the battle system, and eventually I came to love the cards just as much as you. But Zach, these cards, you don't get them randomly. You get them constantly through rewards, upgrades, finding chests. There is a bunch of rewards, and that is number 3 for us. The fact that you're almost consistently being given something cool to try out.
Yeah, this really surprised me. There aren't many moments in this game that feel repetitive because they're always introducing something new. The explorative mechanic of coming upon a chest, and yeah, it might have a health potion in it, but it also may have a brand new card, and then you'll throw that into your deck building screen and figure out if it's worthy of your top 8, and then it might become a major piece of your offensive or defensive strategy. And they're unlocking new mechanics as you go as well, learning about how to combo cards together and even combo characters. It just feels like there's never a lull. It doesn't keep you waiting or wanting, it's always giving, and that is one of the most rewarding types of games to ever play.
Before we move on to the next one, Zach, I just want to give a special shout out to one of the coolest shopkeepers in video games recently. The last one that I loved this much was probably like Resident Evil 4 or something, and the shopkeeper, hey, she is going to keep you blessed with everything you need, whether it be potions, whether it be new cards, whether it be equipment. It's all going to be there for you to progress with at a very natural pace. I loved it.
Yeah, and it's all interwoven so well that a new piece of cool equipment is going to help you unlock a new special card, and the ability to double down and improve cards, upgrade the cards themselves. And that leads us into number 4, which is the amount of variety and extra content and things that haven't been shown is immense. Now, we don't want to spoil anything here for you, but just know that what you've seen I think, scratches the surface of how much fun is packed into this game, and it would be hard to discuss much further without giving it away, but there is a lot of stuff packed into SteamWorld Quest. We mentioned a few little things like upgrading cards and you know, building out these decks, learning new mechanics, but it gets way better than that, and we'll have to keep our lips sealed for now.
Yeah, there are some really cool secrets coming up for you guys, but hey, since you're mentioning content, this is one of the best bangs for your buck that you can get, and that is number 5 for us. The fact that you are going to play a bunch of hours for a really good price. Now, I know people were worried for the $5 price increase that Image and Form went with this time, but I feel like it's totally justified because the amount of content that's packed in here, the side stuff that, again, we won't really talk about, but you can spend hours and hours and hours here. I don't think anyone is going to regret spending the extra $5 to get this much content.
Yeah, both of us spent over 14 hours with the game before the credits rolled, and it never felt like, ooh, it was a dicey proposition. I felt fully that this game was worth $25, and as Gabe mentioned, there was some, why does it cost this? And even I felt that when I saw the initial trailer. But if you combine the fact that there is much more to the game than is revealed on the surface, the fact that it is a meaty adventure, Gabe and I at one point thought the game was wrapping up, and it turned out there was almost double of the game to go from that point. And it wasn't just padded content, it continues to add more and more, as we mentioned, and really does feel like an excellent value. And I think anytime you have 14 hours worth of fun from start to finish the game, totally worth it. And at $25, this is a great fit. It's also a really nice fit for your eyeballs and your ears, because SteamWorld Quest has incredible art. It has fantastic music, and it has wondrous charm. They have leveled up their art direction for sure here. I think the SteamWorld games have always been charming and always been interesting to look at and explore with your eyes, but Quest is just the best yet. I love the way the characters look. I love the way they move. Their robotic mumbles are music to my ears, and it is really a fantastic feast. It's not the pixel art that people get, bummed out by sometimes on Switch. It has a very nice, elegant style, and they merge hand-drawn scenes with the sort of 3D/painted character art, and it all works wonderfully. Even the cards themselves, I think, are fantastically designed. I want to see them in real life someday.
Yeah, so do I. Zach and I both almost exclusively played this in handheld, but if you just throw this on your dock and you have it on a big screen, you are going to see even more detail, and of course that makes a lot of sense, but I was just blown away by how good it looks on my screen. Again, handheld was the way I went with for most of it, but if you're more of a dock player, you're really in for a treat because the art style really, really is beautiful. They outdid themselves this time.
Yeah, the locations, the enemies, some of the characters you'll come across, very cool. Special shout out to the menus, because I think those are handled and orchestrated marvelously. A lot of trigger and bumper action, which worked so well for us handheld. The 7th final point here is that the game is snappy, breezy, lemon squeezy. I think they do a fantastic job of respecting the player's time. One of my favorite features about SteamWorld Quest is that there is a fast forward button that can be used almost constantly. There is a sprint button as you move from room to room, and it really feels like once you get a handle on the mechanics, once you get in a groove with your characters and with your cards, you can fly through battles, making the decisions but not getting bogged down in slow, plodding fights. There really aren't any load times. Everything just has a briskness to it that I really appreciate.
Yeah, even when you happen to fail, and you might fail because the game does get challenging sometimes, reloading is super quickly. The checkpoint system is very, very good as well, because you're not going to have to replay through a bunch of stuff. They're plentiful, but they are still separate enough that you kind of fear like losing in a fight. So yeah, they did such a good job with all of that, and that's one of the things that I don't like, and I know same for you, like in RPGs where it gets bogged down sometimes and things are a little too slow paced, and as you mentioned, you could just basically fast forward the entire game, and not in a bad way. It's still a manageable speed. You still understand everything that's happening, but you just don't have to wait as long as you normally would.
Yeah, they are just masters of design over there at Image and Form, and have found a way to vault into a new genre and conquer it. And honestly, there are many more things that we could point out about why this game stunned us and has been so impressive. Gabe mentioned the challenge. I feel like it hits that right on the money. There's more attention to the characters and story here than probably in any SteamWorld game before it. The list goes on, but just know that SteamWorld Quest is so much fun. I think that is a critical point, and that is our culminating final note, that the game is fantastically fun, and I know for myself it is quickly becoming one of my favorite Switch games, which puts it up on a pretty high pedestal. So that's going to do it for our 7 reasons why you must buy SteamWorld Quest. Let us know your take in the comments down below, how you feel about the game now that you know much more. And as I mentioned, you'll know even more soon. But until that time, thanks so much for watching. Hit that like button if you enjoyed the video. And for myself and Gabe, SwitchForce out.